This is you. You are a young adult ready to start your life in the major city known as Seattle. But little did you know, you are signing up to play life on hard mode. It's no secret that Seattle is stunning in the summer. Like, the lakes are glistening, the days don't end until 9 p.m., the weather is warm but not too warm, and the urge to start your pickleballing career comes at full force. And these summers are what might convince you to move to Seattle. But it's the biggest bait and switch of all time, because when winter comes around, darkness sets in at 5, and that's something no one is ever prepared for. Seattle is in the nation's saddest metro area, especially during the winter months. According to the Census Bureau's Household Pulse Survey in 2024, about 46% of Seattle area adults said they were dealing with feelings of depression in the first 2 weeks of February. Of the slightly more than 3 million people aged 18 years or older in the Seattle metro area, an estimated 1.4 million were feeling down, depressed, or hopeless at least a few days during the previous 2 weeks. When this survey did a comparison of the 15 largest metro areas in the US, Seattle had the highest percentage of respondents who answered they had feelings of depression or hopelessness in the past 2 weeks. I've lived through a number of Seattle area winters, like we're talking double digits, baby. And let me tell you, they don't get easier unless you do something about it. Like, Miss Feelings of Dread is overstaying her welcome and she's exercising her squatters' rights right now. So I decided to make the bold and brash decision to, do something about it. After scouring the internet, I've landed on 5 things that I'm gonna try this winter to see if these feelings of dread are here to stay or if they're gonna go away. And hopefully by the end of this video, I will have an idea of which of these 5 worked and which ones are not worth your time, energy, and money.
I woke up at like 6:50. The sun's still coming out, so it's still a little bit dark. But when I woke up this morning, the weather app said below freezing. Absolutely diabolical. And you know what it made me realize? Growing up in the Pacific Northwest has taught me to be soft. And let me explain. So anything below 35 degrees is freezing to me. But anything above, I want to say like 82 degrees is like boiling hot temperature, which I know to anyone in the Midwest, anyone in the East Coast, they're probably like, man, this fool. But I'm gonna be honest, like the Pacific Northwest, we have all seasons and they're very pleasant. Now with that being said, I'm feeling very, very optimistic because usually I never wake up this early enough to see sunrise. So this is definitely new. And I don't know, I kind of like it. Like, for some reason, I'm already feeling like a jolt of energy come out. But anyways, we'll check in later. Cue the montage and a voiceover.
When winter is in full swing and daylight only exists for what feels like 8 hours a day, I need to force myself to wake up at the booty crack of dawn and touch grass. I know some people might recommend those lamps that mimic daylight, but why pay money when outside is free? Generally, I like to pair going outside with a walk because if I'm gonna spend some time outside, might as well move around. On the days my inner demons are acting up and putting up a bigger fight, I opt for a little run instead of a walk. For this week, I learned a couple tips that help me actually follow through with going outside for 7 days. The first one being prepping my outfit the night before so I could just throw it on and go. Not gonna lie, I had like 1 or 2 outfits for the entire week and I just threw it in the corner of my room so I could wear it the next day because I'm still a degenerate at heart. Number 2, make a cup of hot something, either tea or coffee, because buying a little drinky drink in this economy every day? Excuse me? And last tip, listen to a podcast or my inner thoughts rattle on about hypothetical nonsense so I could justify having no thoughts for the rest of the day. But exercising, like doing a walk in the morning, is supposed to boost immune function and reduce the risk of catching a cold or flu. Studies have shown that people who walk at least 20 minutes a day 5 times a week have 43% fewer sick days. And if you still manage to get sick, you're likely to have milder symptoms than people who don't exercise regularly. Regular exercise also helps with fixing your circadian rhythm, like your body's clock that tells you when to wake up and when to go to sleep. Light and exercise is a wombo combo duo, and it's a solid 9.5 out of 10. Getting up in the morning sucks, but on the days that I do, I feel so much better. As you can tell, we are in a brand new setting. This is my kitchen, and I'm just gonna do a rundown of the vitamin D options that I'll be having for this week. So I did a stop by Costco and picked up these bad boys because I heard that salmon is a really good source of vitamin D, so I just have it in burger form as well as the filet form. This is just like a plant-based milk by Ripple, but it's the kids version, and I only picked this one up because it was 99 cents. It also has a good amount of vitamin D as well, because I think this is fortified with all kinds of different vitamins and minerals, so I'll have this with my coffee. And last but not least, I have vitamin D gummies because the only way I can take vitamins on a regular basis is if they're in gummy form. I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably not gonna be eating salmon every day or drinking like a cup of milk every day, so I am going to have a gummy just to make sure that I'm hitting my vitamin D goals on a daily basis. I'm not gonna lie, I had a sample of this earlier and they were delicious. So I'm super stoked about this. I'm probably gonna have these every day versus the rest on the roster. So that's my lineup for the week. Apparently, people with low vitamin D are more at risk of depression. Vitamin D is actually a vitamin that a human body can't produce itself. The catch is you need exposure to sunlight to make it, which is non-existent in the Seattle winters. Like, it has been overcast for the last 2 weeks. I'm getting desperate out here, so I gotta get vitamin D through my diet from either fish or through vitamin D supplements. Gotta be honest here, I don't know how much vitamin D made an impact on my happiness, but I will say I did look forward to eating my daily gummies because they taste so good. Vitamin D is a 6 out of 10. I'll continue this until I finish my gummy bottle, but after that I don't see myself doing this any longer because I don't think this made a huge difference in my mood. You know that feeling of cozyfying your home during the winter? Well, there's a Danish word for it. Hygge. And of course there is, because Danes have it way worse than in Seattle. Hygge is a concept that emphasizes coziness, warmth, and comfort when the depression season comes in full swing. This concept isn't to be mixed up with being all fall and winter decor-y, because buying seasonal decor can get expensive. Like, I mainly just use the stuff I already had. For example, I had this lamp since I was in college. It's a paper lamp, so as you can expect, it's quite fragile. So I used tape to fix it up, and it's as good as new. In order to achieve this hygge, I created a warm and inviting space with blankets, candles, I had a little hot drink, and I also made a big soup for the week and had a couple of small gatherings for board games and the works. I'm entering my board game era, and I've been into Dominion and Catan this year. If you have any board game recommendations, please let me know down in the comments. I would give hygge a solid 3 out of 10. I didn't really care for it. Maybe it's because interior design is not my passion, and I was only willing to work with the things I already had. But it did inspire me to start a cozy hobby, which brings me to my last thing. For this winter, I was choosing between upcycling old clothes, playing through my 76 Steam game backlogs, reading from my library of books on my to-read list, or something with yarn. So my thought process, it's the holiday season, and a lot of the people that I'm buying presents for either have or have the ability to buy anything that they want. So I'm entering my crochet era. so I can make absolutely mediocre handmade gifts that my loved ones will feel too guilty to get rid of because I spent many hours making these pieces. I went to my local craft store and picked up a skein of yarn and some crochet hooks that ended up being like $8 total, so I would consider this as something that's pretty affordable to everyone. I found some random YouTube video on how to crochet a beanie, easy, beginner friendly. Like, it's surprisingly really easy to get started, and after I got the hang of it, I threw on a show in the background and then I went at it. Like, look at this. This is my first project. It's the beanie that I've been working on for the last few days, and you can literally see where I started and when I got the hang of it. Like, dang, this is woogly. But I'm so far into her that I am finishing her, whether she wants to be finished or not. Picking up a cozy hobby is a solid 9 out of 10. I didn't realize how cheap it would be, and it feels way more productive than scrolling. Overall, this was a fun experiment, and I'd do it again next winter. Although it wasn't as enlightening as finding myself, I did come to find that exercise, light, and starting a hobby were the most effective in turning my seasonal depression into seasoned depression, but I'd pass on the vitamin D and hygge. Anyways, thanks for watching. Toodles! Peep the beanie I just made. Isn't it so cute? Don't look too close though.